Hello and welcome back to Lightworker Training. My name is Tatiana and the topic of today's video is what is healing? So if we're talking about healing, we better define what it is we're talking about. What even is healing? So before I jump in, I just want to acknowledge that this is part 2 of the many playlists I'm going to be creating here. So I started with some intro stuff, and then I got into part 1 with just some principles of light work. And now we're actually getting into the foundations of healing. So all of this is building up to something. Maybe it's healing. But I just want to let you know that if you're jumping in here, I'm going to be referencing stuff that I've already covered in other videos. So you might want to go back and check those out. All right. So today's topic, what is healing? All right, we're actually talking about healing now. So what is healing? In a word, it is love. Love is the healer. So love is actually your natural state of being. It's my natural state of being. So in a sense, just aligning with the truth of our natural state of being is what is actually healing. So when is healing required? Anytime we're not in alignment with the truth of ourselves, anytime we've gotten off track and started down that dark path of discovery, because hey, let's be real, even these errors in aligning with the not self, the delusion, the illusion, the not truth of ourselves, things that are wrong, all of these things are actually helpful to us as a soul. If we choose to make good use of them, we absolutely can use them as learning devices. And that is really what this whole realm is about, is we come here to learn, to grow, to evolve our consciousness and test ourselves. So a lot of testing going on. Some folks out there might even not realize that they signed up for a class, let alone that they're being tested, right? But we all get to have the opportunity of remembering the truth of who we are, why we came here at any given moment. And so we can't really say what is the time for anyone else to wake up and get back to the process of correcting all of the errors that have been made, because this is what healing is. Healing is simply correcting the error that was made. And Lord knows we've made a lot of them, made a lot of errors, not just in this lifetime. And so let's see. Okay, so healing is required in the moments that we recognize that, well, it's always required when an error has been made, whether we recognize it or not. So anytime we are feeling that feeling that comes with making mistakes, that feeling of, healthy shame, not toxic shame, but healthy shame, is a natural occurrence that happens when you've gone off track. And that horrible feeling that you feel is simply the divine alarm clock letting you know, hey, hello, you're making a mistake. You might want to get back on track. So I talked about this a lot in my talk on light work versus dark work. So if you haven't listened to that, I definitely recommend you go back and check it out, because I do talk about aligning with love and truth and what the consequences of that is or are, what the consequences are. And then also aligning with error, delusion, lies, fear, and what those states of being tend to manifest. And it's a whole world of pain, and we see it around us all the time, don't we? And we experience our own personal hells here as well. And so this work of recognizing when we started manifesting in this vibration of fear or the not self versus manifesting in the vibration of truth and the self. So we will see whether it's truth or error, we will see the consequences and the results. So the results could be feeling really horrible, looking around you and seeing really terrible shit happening in the world as a consequence of the aggregate of the collective manifestations, right? And so you could see this happening on a collective level, and you could also see it happening on the personal level in your personal situations and relationships and things like that, personal circumstances. So I'm not saying that there aren't things that happen to us, so to speak. However, it is not helpful to be in a mindset of things happening to you, because then you're just at the mercy of whatever anybody else is programming into the field of creation. And so if you want to be in your power and influencing the field of creation for something that might be helpful for you and everyone else, because those things aren't separate, then it behooves you and us, all of us, to remember that we could actually be taking responsibility for everything that we experience in this realm. And with that comes the power to influence the change to occur in alignment with whatever our will is. And if our will is aligned with the higher will, then we will manifest positive results. If it's aligned with the false self or some other, delusional negative stuff, then we're going to have negative results, right? Garbage in, garbage out. You start with garbage, you're going to end with garbage. You can't start with delusion and manifest something positive. When you start with what is true and good and real, you will manifest things that are beneficial. So if you would like to have beneficial results in your life, in your relationships, in your situations, in the world, the best thing you can do is to align yourself with the truth, which is love, the vibration of love. So I'm not talking about some Hollywood bullshit. No. I'm not talking about things that are put forward in movies and TV. Not that there's never a grain of truth in those things. There's always a grain, that's how they get you to eat the big poop sandwich, is they sprinkle a little grain of truth on there and be like, "Ooh, truth." And then just eat the whole thing, right? So, not that kind of love, but the love that I've been talking about in all of these videos, which is that energy of inner peace, power, inner authority, self-control, self-mastery. I just talked about this in self-mastery. Go check out that video if you haven't seen it. It's in part 1, principles. Self-mastery, not seeking to control others, but seeking to be the master of your own realm. And from there, radiating out into the field of creation, the energy and the consciousness that you would like to see in the world. So, love is your natural state of being. Even if you don't feel like it is, or you're feeling like a total loser, hate to break it to you, loser, but you're actually the power and the presence of love. You are actually an immortal soul and an infinite being. That's who you really are. So you can run, but you can't hide. You can pretend like you're something else, but eventually the truth will be revealed. No matter how delusional, no matter how many lifetimes you want to spend running and hiding from the truth of yourself, it's inevitable. You will recognize it someday. You will recognize yourself as love. And, you don't have to believe me. Like I said in that video, don't believe me. Test it. Test out these ideas. Test out this information and these tools that I'm sharing with you, and see for yourself. The truth will be self-evident to anyone who is willing to receive it, perceive it, to know it. Okay? So you're guaranteed to succeed at healing, which is really just remembering the truth of you. You're guaranteed if you're willing. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that's informative. This is really what healing is. So I'm going to be sharing with you all kinds of techniques for doing different kinds of energy work. I'm going to be sharing with you different kinds of mind hack things, different kinds of perspectives, things you can try out, little ways of hacking the system, hacking through the default programming and all the social conditioning to get back to the truth of you as the programmer of this game. So, but it's all just really kind of like icing on the cake. I want to say it's superfluous, but icing on cake is not superfluous in my opinion. It is essential. It's not the body of the work. It's not the most important thing. The most important things about this work is what I'm covering in these first few chapters of these videos and things that I'm talking about. You have to get this stuff. And then everything else comes from that. So if you're going to be doing some energy work or some, journeying or whatever kinds of tools we're going to be exploring, you start and end with a remembrance of yourself as love. This is what the healer is. Love is the healer. So, yeah, anytime you want to have a healing, just remember yourself as love. And from that place, you will start to intuit what the correct course of action is. You will start to imagine, what would love do in this situation? What would be the most loving thing? You will open your heart and your mind to receiving exactly the perfect remedy for whatever the situation is. And if you're not sure about the piece on intuition, then I invite you to go back to the video, You Are the Teacher. So I'm going to try to be better at calling back to some of these previous videos just to put it on your radar so that if you feel like you're missing a piece of this information, you can go back and check it out. All right, well, I think that's about all I wanted to say for this piece. It's really very simple. What is healing is love. The reason why I need to talk about these concepts so much is that we have been trained from a very young age in pretty much the opposite kind of ideologies. So it's just a simple matter of remembering the truth. So when I'm sharing, if you go, oh yeah, duh, of course, that resonance that you feel within you is a good indication that that is what is real and true. All right. So, and if it doesn't resonate, no big deal. Just anything I say, just leave it. If you don't like it, you don't resonate with it, maybe it's just something that isn't the time to look at that piece. There's a lot of pieces in this puzzle, and you will discover the order of putting them together that works for you. And like I said, eventually we all have to put every single piece back for our own puzzle and sort out the ones that are other people's puzzles. I forget who it was. Somebody was saying that this life and being here on earth is like, it's like putting together a puzzle, but it's like someone took your puzzle and a bunch of other people's puzzles and threw all the pieces up in the air. And then you just got this big mess of puzzle pieces to sort out and figure. And, it's like, you don't even have the box that has the picture showing you where you're going, I wish I could remember who that was. It was a perfect analogy. But, for an infinite being, where's the fun in having the picture and only your own puzzle pieces to put together? You need a lot more of a challenge than that. So here it is, we're here in this realm. Let's just heal everything, reclaim all the lost parts of ourselves, and graduate to the next level of the game. I'm so grateful to be here doing it with you, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Lightworker Training. Bye for now.